Hi, everyone. The big takeaways from this chapter on substance use disorders are these. First takeaway, it's again essential to remind yourself that normal and abnormal are on the same continuum of human experience. That applies to this behavior called substance abuse and dependence. We recognize that just about everybody experiments with substances at some point in their life, getting hammered, or alcohol as part of partying at some point in most people's lives. We recognize this is part of certain phases of life for many people who otherwise did not end up with any behavior approaching what we call a diagnosable substance disorder, diagnosable distress or dysfunction in their lives. In other words, it's common to find mild forms of these substance use behaviors in people that we know, even including ourselves. Remember, the disorder comes in the extremes of intensity and duration. The second big takeaway from this chapter, it's an interesting bit of clinical folklore I wanted to share with you that we try to estimate a new client, we're meeting somebody for the first time. We try to estimate their underlying mental state by noting their routine drug of choice. The drug they always go to, their favorite, if you want to call it, their favorite drug. When we feel discomfort, the reasoning behind this is this. When we feel discomfort, it's human nature to seek to restore equilibrium or a state of comfort, right? If you're hot, you'll try to cool off. If you're too cold, you'll put on a jacket. If you experience discomfort, you'll seek a state of comfort, or what we call restore equilibrium, state of comfort. So it follows it is human nature that the anxious person will seek to calm themselves, the depressed will seek to elevate their mood, and the overwhelmed will just seek to escape. So it's an interesting bit of clinical folklore that we try to estimate with a new client what is their underlying mental state by asking questions about their routine drug of choice. What's your favorite drug? Whether it's drugs or alcohol or whatever it may be, what's your favorite? What's the one you always go back to? Everybody always has a favorite. So when the routine drug is a stimulant, for example, an upper, such as cocaine, we estimate the client may be attempting to escape their default normal state of feeling down or low or sad, their state of discomfort, and the stimulant drug, like cocaine, brings them up to a state of comfort. When their drug of choice is a depressant, a downer like alcohol. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. We estimate the user may be wanting to escape a default normal state of feeling anxious, feeling up, feeling too aroused or tense or irritable. That would be their state of discomfort, and they try to escape this. The depressant, the downer, calms them down to a state of comfort. When the drug of choice is like a hallucinogen, such as LSD, or even nowadays, the use of heroin or opioids like fentanyl, we estimate the user may want to simply escape their current situation completely. Just get me out of here. The point, that's their state of discomfort, and the drug helps them to just escape to a state of comfort. Note that this is just some interesting clinical folklore that we use to estimate a client's underlying mental state as we're getting to know them when we first are doing diagnoses of substance use disorders. We always ask, what's their drug of choice? It tells us something about their default mental and emotional state. So in summary, the big takeaways from this chapter. Again, it's essential to remind yourself that normal and abnormal are on the same continuum of human experience, and this applies to this behavior. People can use substances on and off in their life and never develop what we call a substance abuse disorder. Second thing is, it's an interesting clinical folklore that we can estimate the new client's underlying personality by noting their routine drug of choice, because it is human nature that they're taking a drug to want to restore some sense of equilibrium or comfort in their life when they feel a normal state of discomfort, a typical state of discomfort for them. They take the drug to feel better. Those are the big takeaways from this chapter on substance abuse disorders. Thanks, everybody.